We think that's a little bit less. These statistics are also about 15 years old, so take them with a grain of salt. We think they're probably a little bit worse. Out of those approached, 75% will be lured into trafficking. We think in the Quad Cities about 100 kids a year are pulled into trafficking. 1 in 5 homeless youth identified as LGBTQ, and these are a really vulnerable population, even more so than others. Men, or boys get pulled into prostitution to get their basic needs, and a lot of times they're forced to be transgender or gay because that's what people want. That's what people pay for, whether they identify as that or not. History of involvement with Child Protective Services, again, normally if they're in Child Protective Services for any reason, it's because there was abuse in the home or somewhere else. Gangs, gangs need to make money. Gangs are violent. There's gangs, they use drugs, and they human traffic. And unsafe use of the internet and social media. The internet is a playground for predators. It's where a lot of our girls and boys get taken. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I know one case in particular, a girl that I went and helped was a cute man friended her on Facebook and talked her into meeting him at some fast food restaurant to go to a party. So she did, and once she got in the car with him, she heard him on the phone saying, "I have a couple of girls to sell." So it's that easy, and I know, when I was a teenager, I made lots of stupid decisions. I think all teenagers do, most of them do. And, being vulnerable could just be fighting with your mom or getting in a fight with your friend. Maybe your best friend did something to you. That makes you vulnerable, and that's what they look for. On Facebook, if you post, "I hate my parents," or "I don't have any friends," or "I'm sad," that's what they look for. They look for someone that needs attention and needs love. Brittany was in the store, she needed food and a place to stay. So they look for those vulnerabilities, and they're very good at finding them. Forms of control that traffickers use. A lot of people wonder, why don't they just go home? Why don't they just call their mom? So like I said, traffickers recognize vulnerabilities. They gain the person's trust. They tell them that they're beautiful, they want to be their friend, they take them places, they give them things, and then they begin to exploit. The 4 paradigms of control are, there's pimp control, which we saw that with Brittany. I think Brittany. Am I thinking the right one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Family control was Brittany again, because of the friend's dad that was trying to put her into prostitution. Gang control. Brittany had problems with the gang because they took her to Chicago and there were people outside with guns. So, we would assume that was a gang. And then boys transgender control, we talked about that a little bit before. That when boys are homeless, they're sometimes forced to act like they're transgender or gay because that's what they want.
I just want to bring up the point with the gangs and the drugs, that you can make more money off of a person than you can sell the drugs. So you can sell a person multiple times a day and make more money than selling the drugs.
Right, drugs you only sell once, a person you can sell over and over and over again. So it's a lot more lucrative to them. And human trafficking is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And gangs have definitely taken over that. Here's some legislation that we have. Trafficking Victims Protection Act. It's a federal law passed in 2000. It comes up for reauthorization every 3 years. The reason for that is because human trafficking is an evolving crime. We learn new things about it all the time. So every 3 years we want to go back and look at the laws and see if they're still effective. And it made human trafficking a felony, which is kind of sad. Human trafficking has been around